Hi guys, today I'm going to show you how to disassemble, clean, and reassemble the RAP4 T68 Gen7. The reason I'm doing this video is because I tried looking up how to do that and I couldn't really find anything. So, here we go. If you have the Gen 6 model, it's fine. There's not much difference between the Gen 6 and Gen 7. It's just a little bit easier with the Gen 7 to take some of the more obvious external parts off. So the first thing we're going to do, obviously, is take the external parts off. RAP4 did a huge improvement with the stock going from the Gen 6 to the Gen 7. It's so much easier to take off. You don't have to deal with those annoying little screws to take the flexi air off. And if you're planning on getting one of these, I highly recommend getting a compressed air tank, especially if you like playing in cold weather conditions, because a CO2 tank, sometimes, especially one that small, they won't be able to fill it in cold weather conditions. So, compressed air tank. Take this off. If you have any other sight on there, obviously just take it off. Alright, so that all you can take off without any tools, and of course the muzzle brake just unscrews. They give you a bunch of Allen keys with when they ship it to you. You're only going to be using the first two, I think, only the first two. First thing to take off is where the magazine goes. There'll be 4 screws you have to unscrew. Pretty simple, really. One thing to note about the screws, you'll notice that 2 of them are longer than the other 2. Simple way to remember which ones go where. The longer screws go in on the side of the gun that has the button for the magazine release. So once all 4 screws are out, that just slides off. Plain and simple. And then you have a good look of chamber of the gun. Next thing are these little knobs. You just unscrew those with your finger. There's nothing more than just a ball bearing for the bolt to run along. If you've never taken your gun apart or cleaned it, it's probably going to look really dirty. So just run the ball bearing along a paper towel and wipe it down with a cloth or a rag or something until it's clean. It's not that hard. That's not that hard. Boom. Simple unscrew. The next thing to do would be to take off the top rail mount, which also holds the charging handle. Obviously make sure that the gun is, the bolt is not pulled back. And for that, again, use the biggest Allen key that they give you. And from there it's just unscrewing it. There's only 3 holding them in. The first 2 that are closer together, they're closer to the end of the barrel, are identical. The last one is a little bit different, so that's just an easy way to remember which ones go where. The one that looks different goes further back, more towards where the charging handle would be. I apologize for my cough. I'm not sick, I just have this really annoying cough, I don't know why. So, I apologize if you hear me coughing during this video. And one thing to note, that the first 2 screws do have these little washers on them. So just make sure those don't fall. Don't lose those, because I'm sure they're important. The last one doesn't, so don't worry about that. At least I think it doesn't. Yeah. That's the other thing. If you still don't recognize it, the screw that doesn't have a little washer on it is the one that goes all the way in the back there instead of up there. So once this is off, you can kind of just take it off. It's a little bit of a hassle, but eventually it'll come off. Or yeah, well, an easier way to do it. Now that these screws are out, there's nothing keeping the barrel connected to the centerpiece of the gun. So you can just slide out like that, and that will fall off, but whatever. Just be careful. This charging handle, it should have 2 springs. When I took it apart last time, I was playing with it, and one of the springs went off to God knows where. Gonna get a replacement, but this is one thing to be aware of because you don't want to lose anything. So this comes off, plain and simple. From here, there's no real reason to take the handguard apart or any of the M4 styled accessories to the gun. Get a rag and just clean up in there. If you ever chop paint in your barrel, a lot of it will be up here in the chamber area. So just take your squeegee, run it through. I recommend using a squeegee that looks like this. I find it works the best to get a lot of the paint out. Don't use any of those ones that look like they're made of cloth or fiberglass. My cat just sneezed.
Your cat just sneezed.
Now my friends are laughing about it. Yes, we're talking about
Bad cat. You're screwing up the video.
Anyway, those cloth ones that kind of look like double-bladed lightsaber things, they just kind of spread the paint around, and so I don't know, just pick one of these up. Personally, ones that look like this I find work the best. As you can see, it's nice and long. You can easily put it through and pull it out, and it gets most of the paint out in one swipe. If you go for 2, it'll be like completely clean. So after you've done that and you wipe everything down here, this aspect of the gun is clean. And then obviously wipe down the muzzle brake. Next part would be to access the back part here where the air would go. For here, you're going to want the smaller Allen key, second size down. To take the connector part for whatever your air source is, there's going to be 3 screws. There'll be 2 in the top diagonal corners, right there, and then 1 on the bottom. So we'll just go ahead and unscrew that. Just like the screws that were on top of the top rail mount and the charging handle, the ones on top are identical. Kind of look like that. And the one on the bottom is going to be different. So when you're placing your pieces, make sure you're organized. You don't want to lose anything, and you don't want to misplace anything and put something in the wrong position because you don't know what it'll do to your gun. Bless you.
I'm gonna die.
So, yeah. After that, this piece right here just comes out. That's what it'll look like. There shouldn't be anything more than just a little bit of, like, gun lube on it.
Son of a bitch.
Anything more than just some gun lube. So just wipe it down with a rag. Nothing big. Here you have the bolt stopper. Just easily unscrews. Nothing to worry about. Just set it aside. Then you have the bolt dapper on the bottom. Now, while unscrewing this, just be a little careful because the spring in here is compressed. So you don't want to be like unscrewing it like that and have it shoot everywhere because there's some pieces and you don't want to lose those. So this will come out. Now there's a piece up in there. this little metal part that hooks onto the charging handle with the bolt, just go ahead and pull that out, and then everything will come out like that. So you have your basic bolt. I forget what this piece is called. And then this, which attaches to it. Nothing more than the spring, rubber washer, and this connects into it like that. Now, if your gun is having problems, like let's say you have to cock the charging handle back.
You said cock.
for each shot, or if your air is leaking anywhere in the gun. That problem can most likely be solved by replacing the O-ring on this piece. If you're having that problem and you take it apart, most likely your O-ring will be worn, if not broken or damaged. I just replaced this today, and because mine was worn and I was having the same problem, I had to cock each shot back. So just replace the O-ring, and then it wouldn't hurt to put a little gun lube on it too. Then you can take your squeegee again, because if you chop any paint, that will also cause your gun to sputter after each shot. If you ever chop paint in your gun, in this gun anyway, and leave it, it'll just destroy it. You have to take it apart and clean it. So just run the squeegee through it. It's not that different from the barrel, so that takes care of almost all the parts, and then it's just reassembling it after you've wiped everything down, cleaned everything. It wouldn't hurt to put some gun lube on the bolt itself so it slides nice and easy through there.